What's up, Mortgage Coach community? I have a very unique and special call. I'm going to be doing a series of these around 10-minute interview. In fact, I'm going to set my alarm just so it goes off. And I'm calling it the Manifesto series. So at the Modern Mortgage Summit last week, we rolled out the Modern Mortgage Summit Manifesto. And my hope and my dream is to get loan officers like Dan Keller, who's going to be the first one in this series, to create their own manifesto. So Dan, you were on that stage, you saw the opening. What are your thoughts about the manifesto that we rolled out?
Well, I think it's much needed. I think it's perfectly timed. I mean, you said a couple of things in that manifesto that really have resonated with me over the last 2 years, and I've made it kind of a passion project of mine to increase financial literacy in my community up here in Seattle. And it starts with my kids, and it starts in the high schools, and then, you know, branching out into the trenches with our clients. And so we have, I know you bold this in your manifesto, but we have a financial literacy issue in the United States right now. And I don't think there is any professional out there that is more equipped to change the world and to bring about awareness than us mortgage professionals.
Agreed. And I'm going to pull it up on my screen, just go through it really quickly. But my goal is that you create your manifesto. Do you believe there's a financial literacy crisis in America? Do you believe that there are millions of renters that if they knew about owning with a rent versus own, they'd do it? Do you believe that the mortgage professional can be the most valuable professional for a family, more valuable than a CPA, more valuable than a financial planner, more valuable than a realtor? And guys, partner with a realtor, like become the co-captain of the wealth team with real estate agents. So Dan, of the things that we put in this manifesto, what are some of the things that resonated the most? And then what are some Dan Keller things? Like, how are you going to make it yours?
The most important thing, Dave, is I can look back and remember like it was yesterday with my wife and I in 2008. I was not in the mortgage industry yet, and we had bought our first home together, and the home had gone up in value and then it plummeted in value. And in addition to all of that, I got crazy advice to go out and buy a couple of rental properties. And the thing that stood out to me most is the market crashes in 08, 9, and 10, and I didn't have a guide. I had no mentor. I had no leadership. I had no one to turn to. I bought into the panic. And so what I did is I sold both of those rental homes for a loss and ended up writing checks. No one told me that I could do a short sell. And even though it would hurt my credit, I would preserve money. So I wrote checks to sell both of those rental homes. Nobody told me that in the history of America, home values will rebound and the economy will recover. So I sold both of those rental homes, 6 figures in losses. But if someone would have just told me, Dan, the market will correct, hang in there, get a renter to pay the mortgage, and buckle down for the next 2 or 3 years, it's going to be tough, but we're going to come out of this, it would have greatly impacted my finances for the better. And the same is true with the mortgage that we had. And so, you know, now that I am in the mortgage industry and I know I've lived the horror story that I would never wish upon any client of mine, any homeowners, any renters right now, future homeowners. I take it upon myself to make sure that I'm that lighthouse, that I'm that advisor that they can turn to if and when they find themselves in a situation where they need some good financial information.
Sorry about that, Dan, I was on mute. What are you doing to educate your local community? I know you're a college professor now too, but you know, how are you using the Mortgage Coach total cost analysis? And what are you doing to educate not only the families you serve, but the community that you serve?
Yeah. So it really starts when the introduction's been made to a new client from a realtor or they meet me online. One of the first things that I give them is a video. And in that video, I use Mortgage Coach to kind of tee up my mission statement, which is very simple. My role and my goal is to help you come out the other side of home ownership in a better financial position as a result of our relationship. That's simple. And it's really easy to understand too. And so in that video, and I can provide it to all you guys, I'll put it in the comments below. It's titled, Should I Even Buy a Home? Should I rent or should I buy? in Seattle in 2021. And I kind of take a neutral approach at the beginning, and then I close it down. I tie it down with, as a mortgage professional, I believe in home ownership. I believe that owning a home is one of the core principles of creating long-term wealth. And so I tie it down with that, but I also kind of leave the door open that, hey, buying a home isn't for everyone right now. So through a conversation with me, through a pre-approval process, I can give you the best advice and the best information to help you make that decision. So I start initially with that video, and in that video, they see how I use Mortgage Coach to evaluate mortgage options and wealth over time. Now, I just spoke at the Modern Mortgage Summit, and I gave a keynote presentation on my wealthy homeowner. It's my first time home buyer workshop series, and it's titled The Wealthy Homeowner, and how I teach home buyers how to be wealthy homeowners. And so I explain, you can do a 30-year fixed, you can do a 15-year fixed, or you can do a 30-year fixed, invest the difference, and what that looks like over 15 years. So I'm not telling them to do a 15-year. I'm not telling them they should even invest in the stock market. What I'm doing in my role is to bring about awareness.
Education and awareness. So you're doing it in your process. How are you doing it within your local community? Mm-hmm. And are you doing any curriculum? I mean, I know you're a college professor, but is this type of fiscal literacy part of what you teach?
Absolutely. So even with my college students, even the high school students that I have an opportunity to influence, I'm trying to reframe kids, college students, Americans, people that follow me on social media, their thinking. You see, I think society has brainwashed all of us that, hey, you go to high school and then you go to college and you get in more debt going to college. You go to college to work for a living. You spend 40 years working for a living, and you try in those 40 years to save enough money to then be done, to then quote unquote retire and pass. There's got to be more to life. And I believe, I got turned on to this idea a long time ago that there is more to life. And when I started figuring out that Dave Savage has the same 24 hours in a day that I do, and it's what I do with that 24 hours, Dave Savage also has access to the same information on the internet that I do, and the same books that I do. So what goes into this mind and what I do at the time that I have every single day is up to me. And so I try to just explain that to college kids that you can change your life by learning things. And the number one thing I encourage kids to learn is financial literacy. The financial system in America is broken. I want to share 4 stats with you. And this is what I share on social, and I share this anytime I have an opportunity to talk to kids, especially kids, young adults. 85% of Americans, get this, hate their job. They're going to work every single day and they don't like what they do. 80% of Americans are in debt. So let's just start with those two. 85% of Americans don't like their job. They're not interested in what they do. 80% of Americans are working and they're digging a hole. They're in debt. 70% of Americans have less than $1,000 in savings. 45% of Americans have zero savings, no rainy day fund. And this is the kicker, 75% of Americans lose sleep thinking about retirement. They don't think they can do it. They don't know how they're going to do it. They know they don't have enough money in the bank. They're not ready for it. And so it's just become a passion of mine. I mean, like you said in your manifesto, there's no better person. There's no other professional that's more equipped than us to get this message out. And so I start with, if you go to budgetwithdan.com, I built out a page. I'm putting my money where my mouth is. This is a free page. Any mortgage professional, realtor, buyer, borrower, anyone can go there and download all of this information for free. And you don't even have to put your name in. You can just literally download it. Go to budgetwithdan.com and you can see what I'm talking about. I have a 12-minute video. I send this to all of my clients. So right out the gate, they can see my passion for financial literacy, that I'm a partner, that I truly do. I'm not just saying it as a cliche or a mission that I want to help you come out the other side of homeownership in a better financial position. I've spent hundreds of hours building out this page, showing you exactly how to do it. My Instagram, Dan Keller MTG, is all about financial education. And so it's just, like I said, it's kind of a passion project of mine. It's kind of what I'm doing with every single one of my clients. I just taught a homebuyer class this last week, 40 something people there. It was packed. And that's how I closed. I closed the night with, I have a special gift for you. I want you to go to budgetwithdan.com, and our conversion rate out of that homebuyer class has been phenomenal because they could see the transparency. They could see that they have a partner helping them get. And I even said this, Renee Rodriguez taught me this, was Dan, you need to both empathize and sympathize with your customer. So I tell them this, I've been in your shoes. I've gone down the road that you guys are going down. I know the situations that you're in and that you will be in, and I want to help you, and I'm equipped to help you. And so here's the page that will show that. And then, oh, by the way, from a mortgage standpoint, we're going to take really great care of you, and here's how.
I love it, guys. So we believe, if you believe what we believe, that the mortgage professional can be more valuable to a family, can give a better advice experience to a family than a CPA, than a financial planner, than a life insurance agent, can be the most life-changing, valuable advisor. Join us, guys. Be part of this. Dan, I hope that you will write your own Dan Keller Mortgage Manifesto. And then anyone listening to this, I hope you will embrace this, create your own mortgage manifesto. There's going to be a whole series and a playlist in our YouTube channel. These will be less than 15-minute interviews. And at the end of the day, it's all about helping millions of families understand owning versus renting, helping millions of families understand moving up, putting the numbers so that they can make clear decisions. Student loans, every family that has a student loan should look at what can they do. We just recently did an integration with LoanSense so that you can literally put in a family's or a person's loan, student loans, their income, and find out what they qualify for so they can optimize their purchase power. Dan, any closing thoughts before we wrap up the number one first manifesto conversation?
Yeah, manifesto conversations. I would encourage you as a mortgage professional to read through that, make it your own, but instead of just making it your own, make financial literacy something that's really important in your business. We focus so much on marketing. We focus so much on social media and video and doing all these other things. Guys, this is so important right now. And one of the things that I want to leave you with is I'm trying to teach every single one of my clients to understand that retirement is not an age. Retirement is a number. And if you can get youngsters to start thinking about this, I believe that's a hopeful statement. And hope is the idea that tomorrow will be better than today, that tomorrow will be something bright, and it gives them something to work for. So I think with all these stats that we've researched and Dave shares in his manifesto, Americans right now need hope in their financial futures, and it's up to us to show them the way. Well,
Dan, you killed it. You gave us some more numbers. The 85% don't love their jobs, 80% are in debt, 70% don't have 1,000, 45% don't have any nest egg, and 70% lose sleep. So you've obviously put some logs on the fire. Guys, if you're listening to this, there is a playlist in the Mortgage Coach YouTube channel. It's called Mortgage Manifestos. Keep an eye on that. I'm going to add at least 1 leader per week into that for the next, 8-9 weeks. And Dan, I want to close with how many loans are you going to do for the year? What kind of volume are you doing?
We're going to be probably right now at this point, just shy of 200 million. We're going to make a push. We're going to make a really big push to get over that 200 because that was my goal this year, is to repeat 2020. Right now, though, just being transparent, we're a little behind that goal, but probably in the 190-ish. And like I said, I'm doubling down in the last couple of months to try to get to 200.
How many families served?
Over 400, about 420.
So let that resonate with you. If you could do a lot of volume, like what we're talking about is not just doing good for people and creating significance out there in the market. You can do a lot of loans by educating folks. So put your thoughts down below. Any questions you have for Dan and I? Dan, thank you for being my first Mortgage Manifesto conversation, brother.
You got it, brother.
All right, man. Have a good one, dude. Have a great weekend. And I appreciate you, man.